especially with the fact that View can play that himself.
All right, first pick though coming through, we'll see. Because for RNG, you know, we talk about what we see a lot of the time. You know, it has been the Lee Sin going up to Xiaohu as of recently. Renekton's still open though. Things like the Nocturne here as well, Lyric. Kind of just no-brainers in 11.12.
Yeah, and that's why I wonder, going into RNG's side of the draft, because I expect Suning to just lock in this Renekton, are RNG going to go towards the typical set combo, or are they going to do this? Because the one great thing about the Nocturne is it's actually one of the picks that Cryin does play. Cryin has played Nocturne numerous times. He pulled it out at MSI. He pulled it out in spring. So I think the fact you're going to get yourself a comfortable meta champion that is actually a flex pick for your team, unlike things like the Lee Sin or the set, is a good call for RNG.
Suning going a different direction. I kind of want to just highlight here that you said View was playing standard stuff. Rumble right now as standard as it gets, alongside things like the Volibear and the Diana in the LPL. Sylas as well, another standard pick. So Suning not going too wide stretched with their draft so far.
And I wonder here if RNG, you feel comfortable pulling out something along the lines of a Viego. You already have that AP jungler. So Viego, you have a decent match. You have actually a good laning matchup against both champions on the opposing side. Both of them can get a little bit annoying at certain points in the game, but I would love to see that come through. Instead, RNG want to go towards the Nautilus and get Ming on something that does bring some agency.
And it's one of Ming's most played champions this split, but over time as well, it's just risen to the top alongside his Alistar. So Ming on Nautilus, excuse me, almost went there. Nothing too far wide stretch, but we need 80 carries for both these teams. Ezreal, things like Lucian, Senna still banned away. The Varus, another pick that comes to mind, Lyric, that we might just see continuously taken away.
I would love to see RNG ban Thresh, because despite, you know, how the matchup goes in the bottom lane for Thresh versus Nautilus, and a lot of people are preferring the Nautilus side of that matchup, I feel like it's on. Oh wait, actually I'm wrong. On's not playing today, and we don't know what SofM plays.
True.
There we go. I'm already getting beta hysterics. The only thing I've seen SofM play in solo queue, because I'm sure he has a backup account where he is practicing support more. The only champion he's played on his main account is Alistar. So not too much that can be taken off of that. We know back in the day he would pull out enchanters in the bottom lane. Still, RNG do want to ban out a support. They want to ban out that stronger lane matchup into the Nautilus and take away the Leona.
Alright, well, with the final takeaway there from RNG, we have to avert our eyes over to Suning. Varus, already something mentioned here. It's been the 80 carry pool that's been targeted. And expect Suning, maybe go again. I mean, Gala, Kaiser lover here. I mean, he's played it so many times. And that's the final ban coming through. So now we go really deep in the pool, Lyric. Like Tristana, Ezreal's already gone. What else? Jinx there, but you want Jinx with Nautilus.
Yeah, I feel like you would think Jinx and Aphelios already off the table with how dangerous that could be against Sylas and Rumble. You have the Tristana, which you mentioned. You always could pull out something like a Jhin to just try to be an enabler, but I still would just love to see RNG pick up the Viego and so we are gonna get Nocturne in the mid lane. Like we said, this is a champion Cryin plays, but Xiaohu gonna be pulling out the Mundo. You have two AP champions on the opposite side. Mundo extremely good against cooldown based champions, so champions that are gonna have a hard time taking him down later on, and you are gonna be able to use your ultimate to sustain back up through all that damage.
And as we look at Suning, a lot of the times if I'd see a comp like this, I'd say, well, Huanfeng will play Jhin. But now you've got a Mundo, so there's the Jinx at the end of the day. The Thresh was still given over, so you brought it up before thinking it's on, even though it is SofM. I mean, Thresh fits in nicely, right? Do you still look towards that for the new support?
It's so hard to tell. Like, do I want to see a Thresh? Yes, but we just don't know what SofM plays is a problem. He's someone who's played since the very start, so being comfortable with the champion who's been around for a long time like the Thresh, and they're going to go towards it. And now for RNG, going straight to the Kalista, something you highlighted earlier on. Both comps extremely brawly. I actually do like what Suning's picked up quite a bit, where you have that dive on top side, but you also have this high damage dealing 80 carry. On the side of RNG, same thought. All of it wants to go in. The later we get, I think the more you have to be concerned about damage coming in, and you're really looking at Wei to be the member who can step up and provide a lot of that work. To where for Suning, sure, we talked about the troubles with killing Mundo. Even Jinx isn't someone who really loves hitting tanks that much because you want to get your passive off. you can just kill everyone else first. You know members like Diana and Nocturne are going to be looking to dive on top of you, and it will definitely give you opportunities.
It's a fun skirmishing game. You already said it for both of these comps. I mean, there's a lot of dive on both sides as well, and that's what I love in the recent meta. Seeing things like Diana, Lee Sin, you know, Mundo's coming through who just runs people down, a Nocturne as well, Renekton. All these champions dive so well, and it's so good at threatening sieges and reversing plays. So that's why I think the meta is in a really good place. I was talking with someone last night. I'm sorry, whoever you are, I cannot remember, but no, it was Orcs, excuse me. Orcs was actually talking about how he thinks the meta's in a very good place, and I couldn't agree more. The meta's in a very fun place where we see a lot of these brawly comps you talked about, where we want to see who gets the ball rolling first, especially in this game 1.
The thing I love is you have a place where we see Rumbles and Dianas coming out, but you can also bring out things like the Volley Bear, like the Zinzao. You can flex Elise Sin into jungle. You can have hyper carries in the bot lane with Thresh. You can have early aggressors like Kalista. It feels like there's a lot of options in every role, other than for mid, where it's like, hey, you can play anything except mages.
Yeah, that's right. Stick to the course, folks. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift. Suning versus RNG. Our final matchup of the night. Our final matchup of the week as well. Ladies and gentlemen, from tomorrow onwards, we will be in week 5 of the LPL and moving towards the later half of the split. It is already close to week 5. It's just crazy. Feels like we just came out of MSI, and LPL's gearing up to get towards playoffs, to get towards finals and regional finals, and decide which 4 teams are going to Worlds. RNG right now not looking too red hot, but as Lyric said, I really like this Jordan, because you talked about them not looking like a 1-4 team. We have to see how they come together, especially since Suning, their problem has been how they've coordinated and come together. So a lot of questions to be answered by this first game and this series.
That's the thing, right? If you're RNG in this game, I think you should come in as an expected victor. Sure, in terms of score, you're definitely not a favorite from a fan or broadcast perspective, but I think when you've looked at Suning, their games have been a lot rougher. They have depended a lot more on individual outplays, and RNG have had more teamwork, more unity in how they're bringing things together on the map. Is Gala getting pretty close to an assist career achievement? I don't think that's too big of a deal when you're an AD carry. I want to see blood. I want to see kill achievements instead.
Yeah. So we'll count the 2 assists. Try and remember that one. But you're right. Kill's always more important, especially when you're the AD carry behind a team like RNG, who their AD carry of old is still sitting up on the kill board, I believe, close to 10,000 at the very least. What happened in base? Why are we looking in base? Okay. Oh, this is all right. So Sylas has actually gotten the passive. The Kalista passive, I forget the name, but Huanfeng, for some reason, is binded to Angel, so that's fun. I don't know why you bind the AD carry, but that's great.
I mean, Nocturne and Diana jump in, you pull them out. That's really right. The only thing you can think of is, oh, we already get a skirmish.
Well, unlucky that Angel's not here with the level 6 as well. Flashed away by Huanfeng and the heal, and SofM, welcome to support. It's Ming and Gala right on top of him, and down he goes. SofM is first blood meat for RNG.
Not even going to use the flash. I think he felt like he was probably dead no matter what at that point. If he flashes forward, Dredgeline comes out, even to the side, right? You're opening up an angle because Ming can just hold on to his Dredgeline. Does go down. Bit of a rough first game for SofM. We're not even 4 minutes into the game. RNG going to feel good about that one. You're now going to have some bottom side pressure to play around. We already knew that was the lane that RNG were going to be looking towards. You have a Mundo up in the top side. You know he's going to get pushed in consistently. Your bottom lane is really going to be the only lane you can fight around, as well as Cryin going to be consistently pushing in Angel.
Now View wants to make a play on the top side. This is the response from Suning. Xiaohu flashes away immediately though, but Bin taking up turret aggro. Now it's on the View and he's going to die! Oh no! Diving the Mundo when he goes where he pleases, heals him up, and keeps him in the game.
And that's the big thing, right, is they dove the Mundo. They don't even have a way to break his passive. At least Bin doesn't. Uses a W, then trying to get some damage off, giving over a kill to Xiaohu. Xiaohu not even having to like back off that or be zoned off of towers, is going to back right now after pushing that one in, as we're going to get a replay of the fight in bot lane. Suning just pushing in the wave. You see Ming go for the engage, has the aftershock, flashes onto Huanfeng actually to lock him down with that passive. While SofM trying to do his duty and zone off Gala, at this point still does have flash available, but not wanting to look for it. And we even see Ming having the hook after that, as we are going to go to this. The Empowered W looks like it was going to come out. Yep, hits the passive. I mean, right, that's the only CC you have, not able to proc that in any other fashion. And Xiaohu going to pick up some double buffs off that one.
Well, 1-0 from Xiaohu, 1-0 from Gala, triple longsword on the bottom lane, Bammy Cinder on the top lane. Lyric, it's a 1k gold lead and not a good start for Suning whatsoever. I want to come back just before we see any more action. Really praise the point you brought out with Huanfeng being hit here as he's hit by Ming again. Dark Passage, heal him up, but that's the flash forward. Rend at the ready, Gala wants it, but now onto SofM again. I think he got the Rend before as the auto comes through. SofM lucky the E's already on cooldown, but RNG's bottom lane are slapping him in the face.
I mean, they're going to fall so far behind, right? Because now RNG are going to push this wave. Waze made his way down to this half of the map. We see that even Cryin can hover around. Looks like he's going to back, but has TP available. If Suning got here, RNG would even be able to posture for a dive, but View already pathing down here, I think can also expect a play like this is going to happen. But triple longsword on Gala already. Now he's going to be able to back, buy more items, have even more of a lead. And now you blow the other summoner out from Suning's bottom lane. Sure, Gala lost his as well, but there's just going to be so much kill threat on the side of RNG. I don't feel like they're going to be the ones who are going to be needing to flash reactively as compared to Suning.
I mean, all that wave crashes in. 10 CS lead here, a Noon Quiver as well. Normally on Kalista, we see the Berserker Greaves as soon as possible, but just with the amount of gold to complete through those longswords that sat in the inventory, we joke and say full build for Gala as he just has so much sitting in that set inventory. But in this game, Lyric, RNG having just such a great early game. Again, I want to say quickly, your point on Sylas being able to yank out Huanfeng, well, that's definitely going to come in handy with how much early access to damage RNG are going to have.
I still feel like that's weird though, right? Because what are you going to do? You're going to, out of everyone's ultimate you could take to impact a fight, you're going to take Gala's, pull him out, and then I guess look for, I don't know, it just sounds very strange, as Xiaohu might be punished with no flash.
All right, this time around, goes where he pleases, is definitely launched out, but anyway, he was dying there even after the maximum dosage. So Suning finally get on the board here, and it's in the top lane, enabling Bin to push in a massive wave where Xiaohu doesn't have TP.
I think a big thing we can tell from View already is the fact that he is more prone to looking for linking up with his laners. And that's something you could even know from him just by his champion pull as SofM is hooked once again.
Well, Lyric, at least he gets out. That's a win. We got a pog over that. If SofM survives, it's okay.
I mean, RNG are holding the wave there, so they're going to completely deny Huanfeng and SofM. And this feels like it's going to be the theme and the critical point of the game, right? Is focusing down on this bot lane where Huanfeng and SofM are going to be taken out of the game. Sure, maybe Suning can find some responses topside against Xiaohu, but as he gets more gold, is able to buy more items, he's only going to become harder and harder to dive, so that play's even going to stop being available to them. Cryin is going to be able to maintain Cryo in the mid lane, so it feels like an opportunity there could be pretty hard to find. It's all going to just come down to playing towards that bot lane. Is Angel probably using that paranoia because it was about the timeout and just having to throw that one out anyway.
If anyone has known, of course, with Hijack, the ultimates eventually do time out anyway. May as well use it. And, you know, it's global with the screen of darkness, whatever you want to call it. As RNG kind of setting themselves up for top lane. I like this. Now that Hijack's down for Angel, Cryin threatening into the fog of war. RNG have full vision control up here, bar the Scuttle Crab and even this ward in the brush. But it's enough for Way to start away at the Herald here. He has his own ult Lyric, and he's been farming ahead of the clock considering that View failed in the dive on the top side. So no problem here for RNG, as even Ming will walk up to help secure.
That's the thing, right? RNG's bot lane preemptively walking up for the Herald, just making sure that no contest comes out from Suning. They don't fully commit Gala, so Gala maybe at most just missed one minion on turret, so just getting everything on the map, and now RNG going to try and use this pressure they have in top and mid, because remember, Cryin has paranoia. He can follow if Bin decides to go in.
Let's see, gets tagged away immediately with the Cleaver. The Bone Saw, as it's now called as well. Xiaohu just backs away, that's fine. Blue buff stolen away, taken. Cryin gets mid-turret plate as well. Everything for RNG still just looking good. 1k gold lead as we approach 9 minutes. And it's tempered, right, Lyric? Like, Way is just playing through the gaps and playing through View, being behind in this jungle.
I feel like for RNG, you don't even, like, you just don't need to look for these plays. You're just like, hey, I mean, we're pushing in mid, we're pushing in bot, can rotate over. Let's just look for the Herald. Are they going to contest? And Suning are just kind of like, no. RNG are going to Suning Mart right now. They're picking up a Herald, picking up a blue buff. They could probably pick up a dragon anytime they want. And Suning are just going to accept.
Yeah, for the time being at the very least. I'm still curious about what happens with bot because we saw the frozen wave there, Lyric. Look at the state of it. It's still pushing into Gala. Must be building up. We'll check in a second. This wave moves from one objective to another. Down to the dragon. SofM, not the jungler. Gotta get over that for the time being. So View's not nearby. He's back towards the top side. They want to try and dive Xiaohu again.
And let's see if they can pull it off. You have no TP on your mid laner.
Okay, Bin pulls out the passive here, but Maximum Dosage once again trying to walk over it. Xiaohu flashes though. Not sure about that as View takes a turret shot. Bin this one time as well. One more, but they'll survive. It's a success. While Wei's now down here with a Rift Herald, gonna make the response play.
Yeah, so gonna get some more plates for his bottom lane. Also gonna deny even more. Cryin though might be punished.
Let's see, Return Darkness coming through and Cryine's just dead. SofM want an assist, but it's a solo kill for Angel through the mid lane.
And Cryin just trying to push in the wave. Angel punishes it for that, looks for the all-in, has the paranoia once again, able to go in. Sylas, of course, should do much better, gonna heal up with that Kingslayer, be able to lock Cryin down with the E as well and guarantee the damage from the Q, because it seemed like the spell shield may be down from the previous exchange. So for Suning, at least you're finding ways to answer back. You're ahead in kills. The problem is you're still down in gold, and even the members you're getting gold onto, okay, feels pretty good to get ahead as Renekton early on, but you're the champion that is just going to become the meat shield later on. You do feel pretty decent against, with the fact that you're against very low-range champions, though. Yep. As we see here, right? Cryin just trying to push in the wave, not actually wanting to look for the 1v1. We actually had paranoia come out from both mid laners, so yeah, that I wonder how that works. Like, I wonder what that's like actually being on the Rift. Point is, though, Sylas a lot better in those individual duels and especially extended brawls.
Which is good for Suning when the game felt like it was just, you know, running away from the get-go. It was a top lane dive that went wrong. It was bottom in the 2v2 at level 2 that Gala and Ming won out. The game still feels in favor of RNG here simply because of the bottom lane. You know, we look at the solo lanes getting a kill. That's fine, but it's a 20 CS lead, almost 30 for Gala, who's now moved to the top side. Plating's still available, Lyric, and Wei's just going to drop the Herald, give Gala more resources, and try and get this Kalista to 2 items before the 20-minute mark at least.
I mean, before this Herald hits the plates, let's take note that Gala is 1,800 gold ahead of Huanfeng. So that's definitely going to take a pretty sizable jump up as now. I mean, he's over 2k gold ahead.
Yep.
So all of RNG's advantage is on the AD carry. Any fight RNG take right now, any 5v5, I think RNG should be favored. Again, the good thing for the side of Suning is both Renekton and Sylas love being against such low-range champions where they should have access and availability to be able to get on the back line. The problem is I don't think you want to be looking to do that anytime soon.
No, you definitely don't. I'm curious as the back now here from Gala as well. I have not been practicing my Chinese, but I think he's sitting on 2.4k. So no one can see that, of course, but right now, Gala is the person with the most gold on Summoner's Rift. I look across and yep, the next highest would be someone like Bin, who's had a pretty good time in the top lane, 20 CS ahead of himself, picked up 3 of those turret platings, and now sitting bottom against the maximum dosage dude. And Gala comes back, Berserker Greaves, only a dagger. Maybe my Chinese lyrics are still as bad as last one.
So Hysterics, the thing we saw, I think what that graphic meant was that's how much passive gold he's picked up.
Ah, okay. Well,
you know,
maybe I shouldn't have tried. Either way, look, he's got Berserker Greaves.
Minions or... You know, Hysterics, let's not go down that rabbit hole. We don't understand that graphic. Getting back into what the teams want to do, though. I mean, for RNG, they're going with the proper lane assignment, right? Putting your bot lane in mid, devolving into this 1-3-1 setup. Now you're going to move with your bot lane. Looks like heading towards the bottom side of the map. Dragon's up in about a minute and a half. You can start invading the enemy jungle, getting those deep wards down. Does look like Wei probably sitting on a bit of gold, so going to go back and buy. But once Wei gets back on the map, I think start looking for deep vision in the enemy jungle, start looking for those picks, start looking for those brawls with your Kalista.
I really want to see the Nocturne used aggressively, right, from Cryin. You and I talked about this pick we've seen before, but the ability to dive, the ability to, play, as you said, around the Kalista and really look to push the metal, I'll say. Especially with Herald coming up soon. And RNG, they have good vision control for the time being. Clearing out control ward mid. You can see a couple of deep wards here and there. Few approaching this should be scared, considering that we're just looking at plate gold now. 1,700. And Wei shared in a big spoil as well.
Now Wei getting a good amount, and Wei's definitely ahead of you. And now for Suning, they're grouping up. Doesn't look like they just want to walk into river because they would be going in blind. One option you have is Suning in a situation like this is you can try and group up towards mid first, not walk straight into river. Try to punish Gala in the mid lane and then give yourself access to that objective. But they're not going for that. They're not even playing around bot side to try to take a trade on the opposite side of the map for Dragon. So ultimately, Suning are just going to lose out on probably both objectives because now Wei and the rest show in mid lane. They start heading down towards Dragon and they should be able to take that one.
And I guess Suning is sitting there more to what you talked about as well, where, Huanfeng on Jinx, we have Angel on Sylas, and while you're looking at Renekton, Rumble, champions that can skirmish nice and early and move into the mid game strong, you've got a Jinx and maybe Suning are like, well, we can give up a couple of these and just hope that Huanfeng and Angel get somewhere with their itemization.
The problem is, if you're going to be looking for those types of trades, right, if you're going to give up objectives, you should be looking for gold trades in other places. They should be looking to play around bot, maybe enable Bin to push out his lane further, hit turret, take Dragon if they have the time to do that, or steal away enemy jungle camps. They didn't do any of that. They didn't get anything on the map. They didn't try to go for the kill in mid. So right now, you're right, Suning are playing it extremely cautiously, extremely safe, but you're giving over RNG a lot of agency because not only do they have the Dragon lead, they're sitting on 2 Drakes. We could be seeing a Soul very early on in this game. They're also getting the gold lead. They're also picking up the Heralds. They're opening up the side lanes. Like, RNG's getting it all.
And it's nonchalantly as well as Wei running for Bin. Remember, he has a second Herald here, and if you talk about opening up side lanes, that's already done. Mid as well. And it feels like when you have a Mundo, when you have a Nocturne, those outer turrets down, you can play with deeper vision. You can really punish Suning overstepping when Nocturne ultis up and when he has some levels, and that damage is going to cobble up.
It's quite interesting because they can utilize that right now from being in the lead and being able to push out those side lanes. But later on, right, Angel especially is going to outscale. Paranoia comes out.
Fate's call there as well. Death charge as well. Good Everfrost, but running on in is Cryin. And as SofM's in the middle of it all. Equalizer would have been great if Suning were in a different position. Super Mega Death Rock, bit of damage. But it started with the bottom lane being too far forward.
And now RNG just going to turn towards mid. Angel giving over an opportunity.
Bin is coming and he has flash, but RNG are jumping on him. Way into the backline of Angel. View on top, gets his second kill of the LPL, but Xiaohu bullying around. Gala still alive. And Suning have just walked into certain death.
Yeah, and they did kill Wei, so no Herald's going to go down, but I think RNG should be likely to take this turret without even needing it. Yeah, they're going to be able to drop this one down quite easily, so they're still going to have this Herald. They shouldn't really have time, I think, to position themselves for any push of any turrets going forward, but dropping that one down, allowing Xiaohu or trying to push with that one, maybe get a charge off on a side lane turret, still going to be quite nice. And despite it being 4-6, this is not feeling that close. Angel going in, like you're highlighting, to buy time for Bin to come in, but still, I feel like as your Angel in this position, you're pretty much just giving your life over because the members of RNG still have flash, and then Bin's gonna run into 3 people. You are the one who's gotten the advantage. You are incredibly strong, but you're still not strong enough to deal with the peel coming out from a Nautilus, setting up for Gala to look for that. And Gala didn't even need to use flash.
I was gonna say, he still got his summoner. Ming didn't have to use his flash to try and save him either, so it's a 2-item Kalista all of a sudden with Renan's Hurricane. CS might be close on Huanfeng's part, but look at the full item difference here, and RNG having a 4K gold lead at 18 minutes. Lyric, you said it in the replay, this doesn't feel close. There's been a couple of plays here from View on this Rumble, trying to set up top lane Bin, but it's all of these objective plays where Suning haven't made a response, where Suning haven't actually gotten the gold trades you talked about. And right now, the game running away in a very calm fashion. You and I just came out of top esports at EDG, which was high momentum, high octane, heartbreaking, very sexy gameplay. This is calm, collected, like you know, wedding dress. You know, forget it. It's calm. Let's not go there. I feel like I'm gonna ditch
I'm just
into
saying, you can be a person of preference, so right? Series 1, like 2, is like a strip club. This is like a nice library. I don't judge your taste. Whatever you like, it's all you. We all have our different opinions.
Yeah, okay. Well, strip club.
Or you like both, you know?
Okay, well, that's great. Very good analogy. You've done a better analogy than I have. Fantastic. RNG gonna get another turret, folks. You know, this may not be as hype, but for now, RNG showing clean play. Again, what we talked about, they don't feel like a 1-4 team. There are a lot of these early mid-game setups that, for RNG, still take the cake in a lot of situations.
I think the big thing is they haven't shown anything this game where they didn't need to, right? They've kept it pretty stock and standard in terms of where they've played around, utilizing their like pryos and going into the enemy jungle. Dragon's up in 30 seconds, so we can once again know what to expect from RNG. They're already grouping mid. They're going to catch waves, push in that wave that is coming through mid now, start taking away Suning's vision, and then the emphasis will once again be on Suning. Are you going to be able to do anything about it? Are you going to be able to contest? You don't really have any deep wards to be looking for flanks to get on top of Gala, and you don't have flash on either Bin or Angel either. So it will be quite hard. I don't think they can take a fight because those should be your only two ways. Barring RNG running into you, your ways to get onto Gala are flanks or, you know, a flash stun or a flash abscond abduct coming in from Sylas.
And I also want to point out damage from Suning's side and what it has to deal with. Xiaohu's 2 items strong here with a fully complete Thorn Mail. He's got the Frozen Gauntlet as, okay, that's a TP into the back. They're looking for Cryin here, and it's actually Angel who burns the ulti. Cryin has his own that he's going to use to get away for now. Dragon was done. Suning were all mid. And they're going to have to walk away after expending the teleport.
So, Suning didn't actually know where certain members of RNG were, right? And they knew that Wei was on the bottom side because Wei just finished Dragon. So the second Cryin pops that paranoia, they're like, okay, we can't go for any fight, we are out. Just burning that TP. They're at a point of desperation, though. You need to look for something. You're 5k gold down. It's not really going to get any easier, despite the fact that you do have champions like Sylas and Jinx, which do quite well later on. You're definitely going to outrange the comp of RNG, but I feel like we've quickly outpaced the point in the game where Suning can even hope for something like that. And this is the point where I'd love to see RNG go for what they would always do at MSI in Spring. Look for the traditional Baron bait. Go to the Baron, start baiting it out, trying to force a team fight because you know right now you're stronger. You already have Rune on Hurricane on Gala, already making his way to his next item as well. Ming chunking out Angel a little bit. Just all the stats are in your favor.
They really are, and again, I want to come back to the Mundo point. I look across the board and I see, well, only Grievous Wounds on the Renekton. Xiaohu can walk forward, even the Death Sentence, that won't work. He picks up goes where he pleases. It's just so weird saying it after his quotes. As RNG grouping up towards mid lane. Suning trying to push off, but Huanfeng just not doing that much damage at the moment. And RNG, I love how they're sticking here, Lyric. They're like, whatever, we'll wait for the next wave. Clearing out wards as they go, because the Baron Pit is completely blind for Suning. And they've burnt the flank TP from Angel. It's only Bin's left standing.
And RNG are fine taking this a little bit slower for the fact that they actually do have both their sides pushed out. Xiaohu doesn't have TP, so if you did want to try and put someone inside to put pressure, it would have to be Cryin, but they're just hoping to get a pick with this lack of vision.
SofM
no Scrying Orb available either.
He's going to try. He's going to send it out in a second. Bin going forward. He's going to clear away the vision as no one from RNG fully commits, but Dredge line from Ming onto Bin. He's just dead. Nice ultis from View, but the problem is no one's there as Angel now the next target. He'll be feared. Xiaohu flashes over, hits him with a briefcase, and stolen depth charge, not good enough. RNG with 2 easy kills, and Lyric Suning are just the same old Suning that we talked about in our opening segment.
It's even worse, right? And it's understandably worse. You're trying out something completely new by moving SofM into the support role. You're bringing in View, who highlighted has not played a game since NEST, which was at the start of this year, end of last year. Before that, it was 2020 Spring LPL. So this was a bit of a gamble, but Suning were in a place where you needed to gamble, right? It's the same as like when you look at with WE's Moldo, not as bad as Suning's situation. You're like, okay, we're not doing well. We need to bring in something different. It doesn't matter if it is better or worse on paper. We just need to do it. We are going to see here in the replay, just waiting to bait this one out. The second he gets locked down, you see the Nautilus ultimate comboed in, all the damage from the Kaisa, and he doesn't even really get a chance. They didn't even need the Diana ultimate in that play to take down the Renekton.
I just love watching, I mean, Xiaohu hits him with the briefcase, and yeah, it's all over. Ming doing the same on his Nautilus, 006 here, out of 8 kills already picked up by RNG. Baron's picked up as well, Lyric. Look at the gold lead, 7,000 at 24 minutes. Ocean Soul in a minute 30 for a Mundo comp that is so far ahead. It's just making it look easy at the time being. And I love that Suning is still trying to find flanks. She said their desperation's at an all-time high, especially with Bin angling. But Cryine's top side, bottom wave's pushing in, mid for the rest of RNG. Suning have to make a choice out of either of these lanes.
And they have more members committed towards the bot side right now, right? So it would have to be mid lane. That's where your Renekton is. That's where we saw Thresh.
They're getting covering. And Cryine's rolling in as well. Look at Huanfeng right to the back line, has to flash away. Cryin doing the same because he's a bit deep, but Bin is walking into 5 people. The Fate's call to save the day. Gala going full frontal as well as Ming. Okay, not going to get the knock up here, but it doesn't matter from RNG. They get a turret. They get pushed top as well. Open things up again. And Ocean Soul's only 40 seconds away.
That was actually really interesting. Seeing Gala hop into the Renekton and then flash past him instead of going backwards was, yeah, it was quite a... I don't know if maybe that's where Vue's equalizer was. It was kind of a little bit hard to follow. Suning aren't able to find anything in the end. Really, nothing comes out of it. We are... I can't believe we're almost in a 10K gold lead.
Yep.
For the amount of... Like, we haven't had any massive game-breaking team fights, right? We've had, like, a little small skirmishes and picks. We've had Suning find some answers, but... RNG are the ones controlling the structure game, now being forced to TP in with the fact that this would be Soul for
Angel
RNG.
Going all the way forward. Everfrost so close to connecting here to set up the pick from Suning. Remember, a lot of summoners went down in the last play, but Ming still has Flash Depth Charge almost up and available. And Angel has stolen away the maximum dosage to heal himself up, but Depth Charge would have been nicer. Remember the AP scaling coming through. RNG have positional control. Dragons up, Lyric, and look, Suning are just like, nah, forget it. There goes Ocean Soul.
Like I said, I mean, it's kind of funny that I, made like a joke like Suning Mart earlier, since Suning is actually a store, but...
You did, I like that.
Yeah, it really does just feel that Suning... I mean, they've had to, right? They actually can't take fights with how far they've been down for the past few objectives, but... They started giving over objectives early on. They never got in a position where they were able to fight. It really came from that disparity in bot lane as well. No jungle intervention needed. Just straight up 2v2. Gala and Ming outclassing Huanfeng and SofM has led this game to being able to be snowballed this fiercely.
I mean, they can't even walk into Xiaohu. Look at this tank. SofM taking half his HP. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is an absolute shellacking, as Spawn would say, as the knockup comes through, flash over the wall. Angel's dead. Let's call it, folks. We've tried to bring them back to life here for 27 minutes, but there's a time we have to call the time of death for game 1. It's 27 coming up now in RNG. Don't need to dive. They're just taking away the turret piece by piece. SofM at half HP. Bin's already ultied. Gala doesn't care. Equalizer not bad as Bin's trying to make the last stand, but he's running into RNG. Gala will help Ren. Nice moonfall there from Way, but they're all gone in an instant. And Suning weren't even a challenge for Royal Never Give Up in game 1.
And now, this honestly just opens up the question for me, Hysterics. Do you keep the same experiment going for game 2? I feel like if you're going to do something like this, you should probably commit. Okay. It obviously didn't work. It looked worse than their usual roster, which is something you would expect. But I feel like you don't just commit to something for one game in hopes that it's a lucky gamble and everything just synergizes together. Funnily enough, this is what HQ did in Season 5 to become a relevant team. They moved their jungler to support and brought in their sub-jungler, and that's when HQ in Season 5, if people remember, started having those, like, that banger rivalry with Fnatic, where they went, like, top 4 at MSI. They had, like, that great game at Worlds, but, right, stuff like that doesn't happen every day. That's lucky. That's, like, such a crazy chance that it's going to happen, so... For me, I hope Suning does stick with it. If they don't, because of how badly they did lose that game, I think it is understandable, and there isn't even too much to talk about because RNG just got such a massive lead off their bottom lane. When they started rotating their bottom lane around, they were able to take every skirmish. Suning would get in position to posture for an objective, but RNG would already control the vision because they had the prio. Suning wouldn't feel comfortable to walk in. They would opt into the gold trade. Without opting into the gold trade, they would just back off, not go look for anything on the opposite side, and it was pretty much just a slow bleed coming out from Suning this game, which from a former world finalist, I think is pretty sad to see, whether you're a fan of the team or not.
Yeah, I mean, people are a fan of good League of Legends, right? And that's what Suning were playing at the World Championship. Even spring, there were moments where we were like, well, Suning have degraded a lot. Like this support loss has affected them quite a bit. And again, it's not about what's on the Rift. It's about the control behind. I remember you and I, it was, where were we, Lyric? Where I think it was a finals. And it was regional finals. And do you remember, we could hear Sword Art behind us. And he was so loud for this squad. He was so loud we could hear him through headsets.
We were like half a stadium. We had headsets and we were like half a stadium away from him. And he's the only player you can hear out of 10 players on the stage.
And I mean, he just had such a big impact in this team. And obviously, On has developed quite a lot, but Suning don't have that same flair. They don't have that same oomph. And this team tried something here in game number 1. You know, you can't discredit View, in this game because it's his first jungle game, and he has a bottom lane that's naturally losing out. He got things done, even past the dive that didn't work out. He came up, he rinsed and repeat, and there was some form of momentum, but Suning weren't able to do anything with it. So, you're right, game 1, not much to analyze there, right? And, you know, we look at it, that's such a steady slope. RNG just took the game to a nice end.
That is incredibly surprising at how much damage Xiaohu was able to deal this game.
Just kept pressing Q. I mean, the natural scaling of Q is just great. So, yeah, 14k, Lyric. What's more to say?
So RNG bringing out the Mundo for the first time. They go back to something like the Kalista, something we know they play quite well. And I feel like another big part of RNG in this game is being able to pick up something like the Nocturne. For a lot of teams, I feel like Nocturne should be one of the standard bans for RNG, even if it is a pick that I think is falling out of sorts in the meta with struggling against a lot of champions holistically in compositions, not necessarily in laning phase. For RNG, it is one of the only picks in this meta that they can flex. So definitely a strong tool by RNG. They got their hands on it. And like you hit on in game, they just kind of played a standard game. They were able to play through their lanes and just get every objective for free. And we didn't need to see much from them.
No, we did. I'm really happy with Gala and Ming's laning phase. Happy with how Xiaohu played the Mundo for the rest of the game after Bin got a kill on him. And for RNG, a game 1 win that was actually just pure easy. Game 2, let's see what happens with the roster for Suning when we return.